What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the VR Link. This is our weekly Sunday virtuality chat show that gives you and us a chance to sit back and discuss what has been happening in virtuality. So allow me to introduce Salsa from Salsa Ketchup VR.
Hi, people.
Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming.
Hello.
And the ageless wonder, Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670.
The godfather of VR, the ageless wonder. What is good, everybody?
Everybody. So thank you all for being here. Just a reminder, this is now also available as an audio podcast on Spotify and Anchor. So, also, before we get started, again, I would like to thank the amazing patrons and channel members whose names are listed below. And if you're looking for ways to support this channel, please check the links in the description. And while you're there, please pop into the community Discord to meet lots of positive VR enthusiasts. And you can join in various channels to discuss anything in VR on any headset, arrange meetups, or you can leave us questions or conversation pointers that you want brought up on next week's show. So, we'll start just quickly, guys. We'll start from left to right, so we'll go from Salsa. What have you been playing this week? And please feel free to add in the chat what you've been playing this week as well, so we can give you a shout out.
Okay, so Asgard Wrath, been playing for the last couple of weeks, a bit on and off.
That's coming up
as well, so we'll have a bit of discussion probably on there, I'm guessing. Been playing Lo-Fi, the early alpha version, after it released from its fundraising, which it did get its funding on Kickstarter and reach some of its stretch goals.
Nice.
The other thing I've been playing is Gadgeteer on the Quest, which is, if you don't know, it's like one of those domino topple over type of physics-based games.
Yeah.
A little bit of a puzzle game type of thing there.
Excellent. Is that due out next week?
It's due out next week. Its release date's the 24th of October. Coming to the Quest, it was already on PC. It's priced at $14.99. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. I'm guessing it's somewhere around about the 12-13 quid mark.
Nice, nice. What about you then, Nat? What have you been playing this week?
Well, Warzone, unfortunately, and we will discuss that. I finally finished Concrete Genie and checked out the PSVR mode. I was actually had the intention of streaming it and did, except I didn't realise it stopped streaming after a minute. So that didn't go very well. I haven't had a very good week. Let's just put it that way. Gadgeteer, like Salsa, developers kind enough to send me early access code for the game.
Nice.
So, I've tried that. Got to try Iron Man at obviously EGX, which again is something that we will discuss. And that's pretty much it VR wise. The only other thing I've been playing is, because I'm addicted to it, is John Wick Hex, which is so close to being my game of the year. It really is. It's going to take something special to beat that out.
Sweet, sweet. What about you then, Lincoln? What have you been playing this week?
I played a smidgen of Firewall, but like an overdose of Asgard's Wrath. I can't wait for us to get into this subject about that game.
Yeah, it will be happening. It will be happening, man. Anything else you've been playing?
No, that's it. I haven't had any desire to play anything else, to put it bluntly.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. So this week, I jumped into Half-Life VR on Oculus Quest just to check out the updates and stuff. It was still at the time. The Quest has been recently updated to version 10. I don't know if that's fixed audio problems with recording and sometimes streaming games. Sometimes they come across all crackly and echoey, and it's not very good. Unfortunately, that happened in that stream. Camille VR, which I think is already out now, that came out on the 17th. Only got to play a certain amount of that. It's like an episodic drama sci-fi video game thing. Spectro, which I want to talk about a little bit later on as well. Dash World got updated, played that, runs a hell of a lot smoother on the Quest, which is really cool, and I had a lot better time with that. Project Cars jumped into the Logitech. Went hands-on with Sniper Elite VR at EGX, which we're going to talk about as well. And then I've done some King Spray graffiti on Oculus Quest, which is actually really, really amazing. But I'm just not very good at spray painting stuff. But it is amazing. Like I can't wait to see what people pull off with that. It's going to be amazing. Honestly, it's so cool. And then we finished off with Resident Evil today. Finally got it finished, ready to roll into the week of horror. So that's pretty cool. Who have we got in the chat today? We got Demon Ted, TGK2, Exploding Gaming, Fez, Mick, Bit Victim, how is it going? Tim Walker off Facebook, nice. Fez, Billy Strogler, I think that says, man. How you doing, Billy? Jamal Adams, nice. Yeah, Bit Victim says Lo-Fi is awesome. It certainly is awesome.
Yeah.
It is really awesome. Dead Ringer, how's it going, man? How you doing? JD Max, there he is. How's it going, dude? Nice. Fez says he's just finished downloading Modern Warfare. I did put out a thing earlier playing Resident Evil that in the Discord. I want to sort of get together with people and play some of that. I've got that coming next week as well. But I went for the physical edition. But it'd be great to game with you guys on there just for like a couple of hours in a week or something. So just hit me up in the Discord, which is a link will be in this video somewhere. And yeah, we'll get together. I had a good time. You alright, Tantrum? How's it going? So, thank you all for being here. What else you got? Billy Strago, I've been playing Forza Horizon 4, Persona 5, plus a lot of games at EGX. Excellent. Yeah, Billy, I think we missed each other at EGX, didn't we?
Persona 5 is amazing.
Yeah, is that the newest one, or is that out?
No, well, it's been out for a while, but there's a revamped version coming out next year called Persona 5 Royale.
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to, and Persona 5 Scramble's going to get a lot more information released in the next few days. So I didn't know anything about Persona at all until I played Persona 4 Golden on the PlayStation Vita, and now it's one of my favourite franchises of all time.
My boy absolutely loves it, man. As I said, he got some merch as well over the weekend. Demon says he also tried running through Resident Evil again. He found that tough in VR. It is quite tough. As I remember it, I always remember the first time when I first got the shotgun, it changed everything for me. All of a sudden, I felt like I grew some balls and I could actually fight back. It was terrifying before that, dude, honestly. JG Drifted Harbour, no, there is no news on Aspire 1 as yet, but I am in contact with the guys all the time. Something should be happening pretty soon. Great Tantrum's been playing a mega amount of Gran Turismo Sport. I think I jumped in his stream. He was playing Dirt VR, I believe. Demon Ted said he's still running MLS on permadeath. TGK, nice. And Billy was in my EGX showcase video. Cool, excellent. Glad to see, and Mrs. GC says she's glad to see you kept the beard. That isn't a Rizzler stuck in his beard. That is actually a, what is that? Like a plaster or what is that?
Yeah, it's just something to cover up the stitches. I've got 7 stitches in my chin. So, yeah.
Basically, he had a fight with like a massive transformer. And
yeah, it's called the pavement. In the chat, cheers, Dead Ringers said that Death Horizon's been updated with full locomotion. I wasn't aware of that, so that's cool. I'll have to jump in and get, because I've got a code for that. But I left it obviously a while, so I'll have to jump in and give that a try. So that's cool.
Also on the Resident Evil thing, I suppose there's Resident Evil, which has opened up a more location-based one in Tokyo as well. So the only Resident Evil game outside of PSVR to be in VR.
Wow.
So if you're anywhere near Ikabuchicho, then you can pop along to there. It's about 2,500 yen, which is about 20 something odd quid.
Yeah.
So $25. I think it's about a half an hour, 40-minute type of experience for up to 4 players, and that'd be kind of cool. It's before Resident Evil 7 apparently, but I haven't played it. I should ask a couple of my friends over in Tokyo if they are intending to go along and try that at any point.
Someone just said in the chat as well that Resident Evil 8 trailers just dropped or something. I haven't seen that. Is it?
No, I've not seen it.
That sounds bloody... Mate, I love Resident Evil. I know there's not going to be any VR. I know there ain't going to be. I'm not even going to be... Not going to have my hopes up for it, man. But that'd be awesome. Well, I'm not. I'd love it to happen. So let's quickly just run over our EGX experience this weekend. So I thought it was quite a good show. From a VR perspective, there wasn't that much VR. There was a few bits though. PlayStation again. I think if PlayStation weren't doing what they were doing, there'd be really no mention of it, to be fair. Sony are pushing the boat of VR at the moment, I think, on that show, without a doubt. Loads of screens. How many booths were there? One of you counted. Was it 16 or 12? Or
more than that. There was 12 down one side.
Yeah, it's double-sided.
Wow, so there you go.
There was about 20 odd booths, I would say.
That's awesome.
Maybe even 22. So.
Yeah, there was just so many, man. And they was doing like a mixture of games as well, I noticed. It wasn't just Sorrento and the Sniper Elite, and what was the other one you played? Iron Man VR. There was Blood and Truth. There was Beat Saber. And it sounded like people like at the desk could ask for certain games. Do you know what I mean?
You could ask for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
They had most games. If you asked for it, they were sort of like, yeah, name your game, basically. But the ones that they had that weren't published yet, it was only Sniper Elite and Iron Man that hadn't actually been released yet. All the other games they had there are the released games.
Nice, yeah. Oh, I get to the chopper. How's it going? Sexy. Lincoln, you sexy mother. Nice. But kind of nice Vacation Simulator and 5 Nights. Nice. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So Vacation Simulator was there as well, and 5 Nights. So there you go. Like, it sounds like, that's what I mean. PlayStation really catering. They also done like a live demo of a Beat Saber, and they had a couple of people come up and try it. But I won't get into some details on that one. But you know, the point is, it's out in the open and stuff. Just if you are in the UK, I do highly suggest you check out EGX. I think it's really good. Rezzed is more of an indie scene. This year, and I know Nat's probably wanting to say this year wasn't, I don't think, as good as NEC last year. NEC was big. Like, it was massive. It was colossal. This felt a tad smaller, not as well laid out. But it's still all we got, really, isn't it, in some ways? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I love there's a retro section, all that stuff's there, man. So that's pretty cool.
The arcade in the retro section was cool.
Absolutely, yeah, I love all that. Like, there was a Virtual Boy there that and I went to use it at Mrs. GT, but the bloody thing wasn't working in the end. So
that sounds about right for the Virtual Boy.
I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, there's loads of merch and stuff. Decepticon, how's it going, dude? You alright? Nice. Honasuri. He has all these games as emulators. Yeah, you know that. Right, so let's chug on with these guys' thoughts. So I'm going to go with, first of all, Nat, because he got to experience Iron Man VR, which is pretty cool. So yeah, man. So this is your video up now. I can't fast forward it or anything. I will actually mute your volume though, because you're here now to talk about it. So, take it away, man. What did you think of Iron Man? Was it everything you was expecting it to be, or more or less?
Yeah, pretty much, and in some cases a little bit more. I mean, out the box, it's stunning. I mean, it's one of the best looking PlayStation VR games I've ever played or seen. And you also got to remember, this is an early build of the game. This isn't a finished build.
Yeah.
The thing that impressed me most, and I said it in my video, was you're flying around at speed, and that's cool. I didn't notice one bit of popping. And that was the one thing I was expecting to see. That,
Yeah.
sort of like the rocks and stuff would, as I'm flying towards them, they'd be popping in and stuff like that, and it'd be noticeable. There was no popping at all. Obviously, it's running on PS4 Pro, but still, it's a technical marvel. As both you and Salsa have said, the feeling of speed is absolutely intoxicating. You don't, on the flat screen, and even when I play, when we do our let's plays, when the game finally comes out, you will not get the feeling of the speed that you're doing unless you're actually in the VR headset. Because I was looking at the screen and I was like, you know what, that looks slow as anything looking at that screen. But when I was in the headset, buzzing across the water, it felt like I was just, booming at Mach 1 or whatever. As I say, it's a technical marvel. The one thing I said to you, GT, when after I played it, because you were like, "Oh, what's it like?" and I was like, "I'm really impressed." The one thing I will say is there will be people that pick up the controls like this. Now, the controls are fairly simplistic. They are simple to understand, but it's definitely one of those things, I think, simple to pick up, but it's going to be hard to master. So you can stop quickly, but the one thing I didn't like about the demo, and this is the only complaint I have about it, is the punch mechanic. I thought it was redundant, it was pointless, and there was a bit during my Let's Play, or my demo that I was playing, where the last thing I had to get was to punch through one of the targets, and it took me like 2 minutes to actually try and get round to do the punch. So I didn't like the punch. I didn't like the punch mechanic side of it, but everything else, the repulsor, the thruster parts. I tried to go underwater as well. Won't let you go underwater.
No, yeah, that's a shame.
I did try my best to do that. But yeah, as I say, I mean, I've said this many times. Whether it's a demo, whether it's a trailer, the one thing that it has to do is it has to raise your level of hype. So, for example, I didn't get a chance to tell you this, but the last thing that me and GT, when we were together, I was going off to watch Cyberpunk 2077. They had like a 45-minute playthrough of content of Cyberpunk 2077. And I went into that, and it actually reduced my expectation for Cyberpunk 2077.
That was exclusive gameplay as well, wasn't it? Like, you couldn't film it. It hasn't been shown anywhere else yet, has it?
No, they weren't allowed to show it or anything. But I went into there. I've been hyped for Cyberpunk 2077 big time. And I went into that and I watched that. And it might have been that the girl was so boring when she was talking. Or maybe they really didn't have a very good section of gameplay that they were showing. But I remember walking out of that going, well...
Oh no!
If there's something else around, I'll most probably get that first, and maybe I'll pick that up later. Whereas when I walked out of the Iron Man VR demo, I was just like, I mean, I actually started to considering, should I buy it digitally, because there's more content on the digital versions than there's going to be on the physical. I'll most probably still go physical, but my level of hype for that game, I would most probably say, is now my most anticipated PlayStation VR title. It's not my most anticipated VR title. That still belongs to, two titles actually, which is Aspire 1 and Pistol Whip.
Yeah.
But for a PlayStation VR title, it's Iron Man, and added to the fact that it's a complete story. This isn't an Batman Arkham VR thing. It's just a quickie. This is going to be a fully fleshed out story campaign. It's something I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, I know I've kind of gone on a tangent here, but the short version looks absolutely amazing, plays absolutely amazing, and there's more to come.
Superb. And so, and as everyone says in the chat, some people have been looking at this. They are also buzzing for Iron Man VR. I've played it as well. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I just enjoyed it all in general, actually. Salsa, just like, because I think out of all of us, you haven't played Iron Man or Sniper Elite, have you, at the moment?
I've played both.
Oh, sorry, did I say Salsa? I meant Lincoln, sorry.
No, I have not played either of them, and I've been trying to stay away from videos of Iron Man because I I don't want to, I don't want to start like, come on, come on, come on. So yeah, that's all to it. I've been watching limited amounts, just drip feeding myself of videos of people playing Iron Man. I don't want to get too deep into it because then it's gonna make February a very, very, very long time from now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I see what's going on. Yeah. The good thing is, like, this video, what you're seeing now, is the same demonstration that's been shown pretty much all over the place, apart from you actually watching Nat kind of play it. And I thought he played it really well. And it's one of those games as well. Like, a lot of games on PSVR look good on the social screen. This looks just as good in the headset, which is really important because there's people walking by, and I know why there's massive. Once you played it, it's kind of like you know why there's massive pictures because they know what they've got in their hands. They understand the publicity of this, where people are walking by, and I was filming that, playing it. People are walking by and like they're just going, "Oh wow, that looks cool. Oh wow, what's that?" Like, "Oh wow, Iron Man in virtual reality." Like people who don't know VR are all of a sudden going, what is that? Hold on, it's Iron Man in virtual reality. Like they want to be in there because of the name. So it's pretty awesome what they're doing. Sony are definitely smart with that one. So let's then go to, and have I got? All right. Unfortunately, South, I looked on your channel. You haven't done your Sniper Elite demo yet, have you?
Oh, I messed up a little in my camera placement, so I've got a 360 video on the way.
God. Yeah.
But like the big screen that's by the side. I thought they had the gameplay going on the big screen by the side.
Oh,
they just had a still image.
Oh no! So you haven't got any gameplay coming?
I ain't got any gameplay footage. I've only got me with the gun there, ducking and diving.
That's cool. That's cool.
Dodging around the walls.
So let's talk about it. The video in the background at the moment actually is the wrong video. I didn't edit one that got rid of my gumph at the beginning. It just showed you the gameplay, and I've got the wrong one. So apologies. If anyone wants to see Sniper Elite VR, I've done a video 2-3 days ago, basically playing my gameplay and talking about it at the same time, answering questions in the chat. Thank you everyone who's there at the time. So let's, Salsa, talk to me about Sniper Elite, dude. Same again with Nat. Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, I think it's actually exceeded expectations on a number of counts because I heard somebody else who had played it and they weren't as convinced. For me, I found graphically, I thought it was on a good par. It was a good level. The graphics felt impactful. They were not blurry. They weren't over sharp or anything else like that. They were a good, comfortable level in the headset where I was like, yeah, this could make me feel like I'm in the streets with the explosions going off and you having to make your way through the map. It's full locomotion. There was places to hide and sort of like you could duck, you could physically duck. It's in the aim controller. I had a good experience with the aim controller. I was able to look down the sights, and for anybody who's actually fired real rifles before, they've done a really good job of getting the right feeling of looking down the scope and actually eyeing into a target and everything else like that. So that was really, really good. You've got a couple of other things going on there. You had a focus mode, which kind of does an extra little bit of zoom and kind of extra little bit of slowly, a little slower. And then, of course, you have the kill cam, which is what the series is famous for. So if you get one of those good kill shots going off, it's immediately going to go zoom straight into the person. Then you'll break away for that second, and you can actually move your head around as the bullet slowly comes in through the X-ray of the person, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
As a game, I thought it was satisfying. At no point did I feel like my aim or anything else like that was really uh, off. It didn't feel like a lot of sniper games that I've tried so far, even with the aim controller, were a little bit too bumpy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this felt really good and controlled.
I think
So,
they've really, really done this so well. Like I was saying earlier, it does feel like the series put into virtual reality. It doesn't look like, I don't feel like there's anything missing. Do you know what I mean? It's not like when you get a Spider-Man game in VR and all of a sudden you're just standing there shooting bloody plant pots, and then you know what I mean, and then you swing off a building and it's finished. It's nothing like that. It is a proper game, a proper full-on Sniper Elite game.
yeah, yeah, I have to agree. It did feel really, really good. Um, how can I put it? I mean, I haven't played Sniper Elite on PC, but I know what to expect. I've seen stuff of it. What I have done is I've shot rifles in real life. I used to shoot different guns, I used to be a member of a gun club and all that lot. So I am used to looking down the sights of a gun and everything else like that, and they've nailed that part of it. Then graphically, they've made it work. Gameplay wise, it feels good. I'm looking forward to it. This has convinced me enough to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a demo, it's be enough to buy it. So I'm looking forward to hopefully, when the full game comes out, we'll know the pricing and we'll know what the length of campaign is as it comes closer or whatever. But I definitely am interested in buying it.
Absolutely. So, who we got in the chat who I haven't said hello to? We got Steve Drumheller. How you doing, man? Jimith Jamith, Tasnik. I think I said hello to Billy earlier. Drew, how's it going? A lot of people are saying, do you know what, right? A lot of people are saying Iron Man is there day one. I hate to say it. I actually, if I could only pick one game on the day, say they could both come out February 28th, me personally at the moment, I'd probably pick Sniper Elite.
I would pick Iron Man, but that's because of what game you're into, not because of the games themselves.
Yes.
So it really is a thing of personality over quality, because both of them have got that quality there.
Mm-hmm.
That I think the approach from both of these teams, these are both AAA titles.
Yeah.
Like, they're looking like, both of them are looking like AAA titles. They're both big name IPs. And it looks like the development studios have come in and they've gone, we know what people want. We know what people are really expecting. They've gone, what do people expect from these? Let's deliver it.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from the feeling of the demos. That's what I get from the feeling overall for all of it.
I also feel it makes fantastic use of the aim controller. I don't know how it's going to play otherwise. I don't know if they're going to use the moves or they're going to go just dual shock. I'm not sure, because I've had no mention of move controllers as yet.
I don't know on moves, but it is also coming to PC VR, the Elite Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing. The aim controller is a definite good thing. You've got a Pro Tube though as well, don't you?
I have got a Pro Tube, yeah.
So on the PC, you do have Pro Tubes, which means you can set up something to be like an aim controller style thing with the Pro Tube and the touch controllers.
Mm-hmm.
But from past experience of handling weapons on the PC side, nothing works as well as the aim controller unless you do have a Pro Tube, which is like twice the price of an aim controller.
Well, that's the problem. Like, I don't get me wrong, I love my Pro Tube, but it's the fact that it's weird. A lot of people want to be able to reload guns, don't they? The reload mechanic's fantastic, but in some ways it's still quite cumbersome to have to actually do it. What I'd love is a mixture of a gun with actually a game that understands hand tracking. It'd be great if you had a game where you're playing it with the gun and it knows that if you go like that, Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just my idea when they talk about, because people say, oh, if you're playing a game with hand tracking that's coming to the Quest and the Rift S and stuff, that you won't be able to move around. I'm like, well, what's saying you can't use controllers as well? I don't get that. I don't see why all of a sudden.
I mean, Reggie Strange did that, with an aim controller and move controllers and stuff like that. But if you could actually do that combination of here's your controller and hand tracking, I mean, that would just be like, yeah. At some point, hopefully, somebody will do it.
Yeah.
But for what we get coming out now, Iron Man and Sniper Elite, they both look fantastic. They're both doing things that I'm really, really happy about. But I do think whether you only had your question there of if you had the money only to buy one, which one would you buy? I think it's really going to be along the lines of what type of personality you are.
What genre are you into?
Genres. Yeah, exactly. It's like, are you into that first-person shooter as a World War II shooter, or are you more of a comic book? So that's what it boils down to.
So let's move on to Asgard's Wrath. I'm going to let Lincoln take this one because he hasn't had much to say at the moment, but I know he's very excited to talk about Asgard's Wrath. South has played this, I believe. I've played it. Lincoln's played it. Tell us about your experience of Asgard's Wrath, Lincoln.
I almost don't know where to start. The game is amazing. I will say that I don't think it's the best looking game that I've ever seen on VR. I still think Lone Echo is still the best looking game that I've ever seen on VR, but it is definitely the most detailed game that I've ever seen. The world is so detailed and so beautiful. It does the world looks like God of War, and the combat that I've done so far is God of War. I absolutely can't get enough of throwing that axe and then making that pulling motion to bring the axe back to you.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. What do you think this game does in terms of the bar of VR games? Like, because when I played it, I was like, dude, this isn't messing around. There's nothing, this feels like a proper game in virtuality. It's not like you're missing something for it to be in virtuality.
Yeah, I think this, to me, it feels like the first full-length AAA game that was built from the ground up for VR. You have a game like Lone Echo, which has AAA quality, but the gameplay makes it feel like, part tech demo, part, short story. But this feels like a full-length game. I think it's worth every penny of the $40. And the game just left me, at a loss for words. And this game is so amazing that actually hearing that Aspire 1 was going to be delayed was actually good news for me, because this gives me time to put a lot of hours into Asgard's Wrath, and it's so much to the point that I might even have to put Stormland on hold, because I really want to finish this game. It is such an amazing game, and right now I can't even think of what else to say. At this point, I'll probably just more or less be adding on to what you guys might think of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's absolutely incredible. I haven't had the time to dive into it. I've done my little bit of basically playing it, thinking it's incredible, then done a video to advertise how amazing it was, hopefully, and then I've done a live stream of it. Absolutely loved it. The more I played it, that's the thing. The more I play it, the more I like it, and I like it quite a lot when I start. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It builds on that. So how far are you into this, Salsa? How much have you played of this?
Not quite as much as you. Unfortunately, I've had I've got a couple of health things with my ears and nose and whatever banged up. Which, by the way, next month I will have a couple of weeks away from the stream probably, because nobody wants to see me with my nose all bloodied. Because I'm going to have an operation on my nose to sort out all that stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to play more, because this is a long game.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I felt it was great graphically, made a good impression, good start. Then it became slower burning. There was a couple of bits which I was a little bit disappointed with in relationship to other titles that are out, namely the weapons handling, first of all, that I felt there wasn't the physicality to the swords and stuff,
Right.
and things that had been done better. But the more you play it, the more it is pulling you in, the more it's growing on you. I do have to say that axe, though, when you throw the axe away and you pull that back,
Yeah,
that
man.
is satisfying.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but it's one of the great things as well is the change in sizes.
Yeah.
Is you have that whole different aspect with the game where you go, right, okay, for those who are unaware, basically you are pretty much playing the part of a god who has to sort of like go through this trial of proving themselves to make them more along the thing. And it breaks down into stories between multiple smaller characters and different things like that. So you actually have a thing where you possess smaller characters and you are big size versus small size, human size. When you are a human, like and you're doing the customization of weapons and stuff, and you see the size of the gods right in front of you, it's like, oh my God, it's like you're in the land of the giants. And that, I don't know about for you guys, it felt immense when you're standing there on that anvil, and they're making, by the anvil, and they're making weapons for you, and you're like, oh my God, that giant is giant, because he's big to a god anyway, and then you're sort of like little human size, and it's immense. That is an immense one.
Yeah, it's
But
incredible, and transforming the animals that you get into companions. I think that's incredible. I love everything about that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, but Lincoln, you said you're sort of out of things to say about this game. How amazing it is.
Yeah, I do. And I'm big on Norse mythology, so I was definitely looking for references of Odin and Thor, which I got.
Yeah.
And Thor was pretty big inside that tavern. He was huge. Looked like he was pretty mean too.
Yeah.
He was almost the size of the minion that was forging the steel inside the tavern.
That's not Thor. That's what's his name? I've forgotten the character's name. The guy on the anvil's not Thor.
No, but Thor did show up in there.
Oh, okay. I haven't got to that yet. Spoilers.
Sorry.
Spoilers.
I thought you were ahead of me.
No, I'm behind you. I'm behind you. I haven't had enough time to play it.
Yeah, I put it. I think I probably got. I want to say somewhere between 6 and 9 hours into the game.
Yeah, I'm about 4.
Because a lot of it came from having to collect a lot of things. Because I don't think I've ever played a game in my life where I tried to collect every single thing that I saw. I'm normally a person that skips all the side quests and everything because I want to see the story played out.
Right.
I like seeing that story play out like a movie. But in this game, collecting everything you can is very important in this game. So that's where a lot of my time went, was just breaking open vases and stuff, trying to collect any little thing I could, because you need these items to craft, buy, and sell.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to jump back into the chat for a minute. Who have we got now that I haven't said hello to? I think we said hello to Paradise K, Tasnick, S. Smith. Has anyone tried Lone Echo? But he also goes on to say, hello, Rick Rocket. How's it going, man? He goes to say, I haven't bit the bullet yet on a headset. I'm leaning towards the Quest. He said he's waiting for some kind of Black Friday deal. Does anyone reckon there will be a Black Friday deal on the Quest this early on in its lifespan?
Possibly a 10%, but that's about it.
Yeah, not much. Not much. I mean, they've got problems keeping up with demand.
Yeah, you wouldn't be lowering the price of something that people want so badly.
Now getting to the point where I can walk into a Best Buy or a Walmart and see them on the shelves. But the 64 gig Quest, I think they're still flying off the shelves. Every time I walk into Best Buy or Walmart, they still have the 128 gigs. I don't think those are selling as much, but I still think they're selling though. And again, they just now supply is just now catching up with demand, and it's still a hot item. I don't see this thing going on sale until late next year.
Yeah, for sure. And it is, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, because I don't have the PC, but was it S. Smith was asking about the headset that you might be getting was a Quest. Now, you do have the Oculus Link system coming into this, but I was just quickly looking up, and the Asgard's Wrath is a pretty beefy required system. So not only does it require an i7, now to be honest, the i7 processor that it's recommended ain't going to be a problem. I mean, hell, I've got that in my laptop that I'm doing at the moment. The graphics card, however, is a different case because the recommended graphics card is a GTX 1080.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the recommended graphics
I didn't know
card.
that.
So if you consider that, I think Salsa would most probably know better than me, but I believe Oculus turn around and say you should be fine on anything. If you want to run it on a Rift, you should be fine with a 1050. I think is like their starting point.
Yeah, so 1050 or 1060.
1060, or you can actually run it on a 970.
But yeah, so if they're turning around and saying that the recommended graphics cards is a 1080, I mean that's I was speaking to you, EGX, what I was saying, well look, this is kind of what I'm looking at for a computer, and I wasn't even looking at a computer that's got a GTX 1080 in it. I was sort of like, well, looking at either an RTX 2060 or a GTX 1070. Not even a 1070 Ti, just a 1070. It's just like, I don't want the best of the best.
That says recommended. That's what I don't get. That's the recommended, because the 1080 is a really expensive card. 1080 is an older generation of the Nvidia series. I've got the 2070. So you've got the 2080, which is like the second gen version of the 1080. But the 1080 can sometimes be more expensive than the 2080. Do you know what I mean? Because it's got this overclocking heritage, you know what I mean? It's like
the 2070. The 2070.
Yeah. Well, you'd most probably find the 2070 is on most probably an equivalency to the 1080. I mean, obviously the thing with the RTX cards is it's the real-time tracing and what is it?
Ray tracing, yeah.
Ray tracing it's got on it, and then the SLSS thing. Hardly any game uses at the moment. So,
yeah.
I'm sitting on a RTX 2070, but the processor is an i5 9400, I believe, and it recommends an i7.
That's interesting. Go on, Lincoln. What's your setup? Because you play Asgards and you stream it. So what's your setup, dude?
I have a Alienware Aurora. I think it's an Aurora R8.
Yep.
Which it was originally $2,000, but when all was said and done, I ended up getting it on sale for $1,600. I think it's a pre-built computer, store-bought computer. I think it's a great one, a great computer. I haven't had any issues out of it. My only issue with it is that I would like to put a better processor in it, but I don't want to risk voiding the warranty. And which the i5 that it has in it can be overclocked. But they send you a warning that if you do it, that's going to void the manufacturer's warranty. And that would probably void the warranty that I have on it with Best Buy, because I bought a 2-year warranty. So I'm just, whatever it is, I just kind of leave things at default. I might turn the graphics up for a minute just to see what it looks like at its best, and then take it back down to the defaults so it'll run better. But it is, when I turned the graphics up to Epic, it was extra sharp. It looked really, really good.
Yeah.
But it did compromise the performance a little. But I think people have been having performance issues with this game across the board.
I was going to say, it still hasn't, to my knowledge, had any sort of performance update, which will surely come with error messages and feedback, and they're going to probably optimize it to run a little bit better on more systems. That seems to happen a lot, especially with big games, because they want as many people to experience it as possible. I thought South was going to say something. Then I thought you was ready. I thought you breathed in.
I mean, no, I think the minimum spec, there's a lot that you can play that is actually a little bit below some of the minimum specs. I've seen plenty get away with i5s. There's a lot of games that tend to they rely on either like one core, so single core performance. If your computer's got single core performance is good enough, they can run fine. So an i5 doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. Some of the i5s can have really good single core performance, so you're good. And then graphics card wise, I think a lot of them you can get away with the what do you call it, the RTX 2060 is a good card for a reasonable price.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. Yeah.
So it's not as high a price bracket as people are thinking. You can get away with a lot less and get some really good experience off of this stuff. You know, 1080 Ti's, 1080s, they're really great to have, but honestly, I've seen people run stuff pretty good with 1060s.
Yeah, and it's not that much of a difference the way people might think, because I bought my son an iBuyPower PC from Best Buy that has a GTX 1660, and I think it has an i5 8700, and I gave him my CV1, and when I looked at Pavlov on his PC, it looked pretty doggone close to my PC. The only difference is that I have a Rift SO. I did notice the difference in the clarity, but it looked pretty doggone good. So I think, you know, I bought that computer on sale for $700. I think it was well worth the money. So yeah, you're right, Salsa. That I think when it comes to the graphics card, I don't think you need a $16,000 graphics card or something.
You can do really good, and a lot of the times, if you're not streaming, for most games, don't use processors as well. They don't use multi-core as well. There are some newer games that are coming along that use multi-core processors more, but you can still get away with an i5 in a load of cases, so it doesn't necessarily have to be as expensive as a lot of people would.
I just want to quickly just say one thing here, because I kind of find this amusing. I'm seeing in the chat, we're doing all this talking about graphics cards and processors and things like that. We're going to be chatting so much about this stuff when Oculus Link actually launches.
Yeah.
Because all we're going to have is, and I think one of the guys in the chat said about it, there is going to be so many people that have an Oculus Quest like me, and it's like, what the hell should I get? Because the thing is, you got to remember is, unlike you guys, when I've gone, initially I went PlayStation VR like a lot of people because it was the simplest way to get into it. We already had PS4s, and that's one of the great things about PlayStation VR. And there will be Black Friday deals, so we're definitely going to shoot past 5 million users if we haven't already on PlayStation VR. But a lot of people decided, and obviously it's worked out for Oculus, to go for an Oculus Quest for its simplicity. And while I would say the majority of Oculus Quest users aren't really that bothered about Oculus Link, it's like a nice feature. There's a sort of like a small core where like for example me, where it's like, well, this is really cool. You don't want the best of the best, but you want it enough that if I decide I'm going to get Asgard's Wrath, you know, how is it going to run on a PC where it's less than what the recommended specs are? Because I don't want to spend like £2,000 on a PC, but I want it to be competent enough that I get an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. So
best experience.
What I did was I basically reached out to people that I knew and who were experienced, and there was Salsa. I spoke to Salsa. I spoke to Mike from the VR Oasis, and I actually kind of ignored them both a little bit and went higher. than what they told me. I basically, do you know what I mean? Because the streaming thing come into it, they were aware of that, but I was like, one of the things I remember when I done my first PC ever, so back in the day of Half-Life 2, I was watching this game and they were telling me how and it looked technically amazing. I remember Valve doing demos, and the graphics card at the time was like the RTX. No, it wasn't RTX. It was an ATI 9800 XT or something like that. And it was an expensive card on its own at the time. It was like 450 quid, 500 quid. And I went through, I bought everything top notch. I basically went to a guy and I went, what do I need to play this game at the best settings? And they went, you need this. And that's what I bought. That's what I did. I thought that's what I want. How do I want this game to look in my eyes or in my headset? How do I want this game to look? Do I want it to look as best as it can? And you basically try and achieve that stuff. I know, but the problem is, right, when you got a game like Asgard's Wrath, as Lincoln was saying, I haven't seen, personally for me, I still think this is the best. I think Lone Echo's got more mouth open moments because of the thing of being in space and all that stuff. Like, there's a bit where you look and you're like, oh my, this is crazy good, and 0 G, you're flying around. But when it comes to detail, Asgard's Wrath takes it. I've not seen a game look like this before. So I'm really glad that I invested a bit more into my PC at the time, not just from a streaming point of view, because I wanted to see the games like that. So I know what's going to happen. I think what we need to do as people who support VR is basically put out there a low-level PC, a mid-level PC, and a high-end PC. And if you're looking for really, like, Scan Computers in the UK are very good. Like, they know what they're talking about. If you tell them what game you want to play, they'll tell you what you need to buy. It's just a case of whether you can swallow the bill, because unfortunately, when you say I want to play Asgard's Wrath on epic settings, they're going to go, well, you're going to need this, and you're going to need that, and you're going to need this, and you're going to be thinking, oh man, that's well over $1,000, really. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's bloody expensive, PC VR. There's no two ways about it. I can see why people don't.
It can be, but then again, I'll use myself as an example, because obviously I've only got Oculus Quest and PlayStation VR. I'm not used to the exceptional settings on VR. I've been happy with PlayStation VR, what that's offered me. I've been happy with what Oculus Quest has offered me. Now, there will be people that do want exceptional settings, but to be perfectly honest, I would most probably urge them to go with an Oculus Rift S anyway, over an Oculus Quest. But I think a lot of people that have an Oculus Quest, they're not buying an Oculus Quest to play PC games. I think that's just a nice side thing.
Yeah, but
I
think
I never had any intention of going PC VR.
I didn't think that might tip the scales though, because unfortunately sometimes when you see what PC VR is offering, like VR chat on Quest compared to VR chat on PC, if you like that, is completely different. It's amazing. Do you know what I mean?
This VR link makes all the difference in whether somebody, at least here in the States, is going to pay $400 or $800, because if the link works as advertised, then I might very well recommend that someone get the Quest. But if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, I'm going to recommend that they get the Rift S if they want the best performance. I still think, as far as tethered headsets goes, I think the Rift S is still the best buy for the money.
Yeah. I still think the Quest is too uncomfortable though for long-term play. For me,
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
That's the only problem. That is the only thing that makes this conversation different for me. Because otherwise, I think my thoughts would be, because I stream for a long time, and I like streaming for a long time. If I've got a day off, I will stream for hours. But in the Quest, I think I've done 2 hours, 3 hours. I think I might have done 4 hours once with a battery pack. It doesn't matter what stuff I've got on there. There is accessories out there from VR Cover and other ones like that. It doesn't matter. There's still that weight is still front heavy. I mean, I think the Franken Quest is probably the only way I've seen something where it genuinely looks like, okay, you got it sorted. It's got the halo band on it because you need that to pull that weight, actually pull it from your face more to the back. But otherwise, from that, dude, I think it's the most uncomfortable headset I've used. Do you know what I mean? But don't ever let me like put it down in another way, because like it's a magical bit of kit, absolutely magical. I can't imagine.
Well,
Yeah, I dare say that I think the Rift S is more comfortable than the CV1.
I think the Rift S
be-
is a bit more comfortable than the PlayStation as well, a little bit, because you've got that strap as well through the center. But
Yeah, that Halo makes a big difference because with the CV1, you have to use the Velcro straps to pull it up to your face, and it does put pressure on your face. It just doesn't. It's just not near as uncomfortable as the Quest.
yeah,
well, the Quest has been designed for short usage. I know people like UGT are saying, "Well, I've got a battery pack on it." That was never how the Quest was designed. The Quest was, and it's one of the reasons why it's perfect for me. It's designed for that hour and a half and 2 hour usage max. In
yeah,
reality, about an hour and a half, I would say. Most probably going to get an hour to an hour and a half of something like Journey of the Gods. I get about just over an hour on that, because that's a pretty heavily graphically intensive game for the Quest. So yeah, I mean that's when we were discussing about the link. I actually turned around, because obviously I'm in the unique position. I don't have PC VR, and I turned around and I said, yeah, it's going to be a comfort situation, because the Quest, I mean, it does hurt my cheekbones if I do get close to 2 hours, but usually by the time I'm finished with it, it's like, okay, well, I need to charge it now.
yeah.
And then you kind of take a break. It kind of enforces breaks on you. So, but these are conversations to have, like I say, in November, because, like I say, that's when the Oculus Link is going to go. Sorry
Yeah.
to take off on a tangent. But
No, that's
I
right.
saw a lot
But
of
like,
people saying about it in the chats.
Yeah,
Don't-
this link cable has me in a holding pattern because I have to wait and see how it looks before I go off and make the move to get my son a Rift S.
and I think a lot of people are like that. I'm seeing videos after videos on this subject. You know, Hono said he's made one in recently, and it's the same. You know, he's one of them. He's made a video about you can build your own PC. How to do it. You know what I mean? The geezer's proper clued up. I'm hoping Salsa does something like that as well. That'd be pretty awesome. But just to reiterate about the Quest, yeah, this is at the moment my setup. I've got the VR cover back pad in here. Yeah, I've got the VR. I've got the thinner face cover, and I've got like this material cover over here. This is comfy. Yeah, this is comfy. But even holding it now, you know there's weight there, and I guarantee you within 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I will feel that pressure. As before, it would have been a bit like, oh, you know, you could feel it quite quickly. I think sometimes, especially on my cheek, subjective again, my cheekbones. Everyone's face is different. That's what I feel. But the one thing I do like about the Quest is, I don't feel nothing on my nose, as with the PlayStation. I always get that bit of rubber pushing in between, and I hate that. But yeah, we did go right off on a tangent there, didn't we? It's going to be a big conversation in the future for sure.
I think that weight balance is a big bit of an issue. The weight balance thing, if you could get that right, may help, but I haven't got that yet. It's something I'm looking at for when you get the link, definitely, and how the link is going to perform.
I mean, I personally think
difference.
I personally think, right, people are going to get NPCs. This is what Oculus want, I think. They want you to get that big PC, that beefy PC. You start using it, yeah? And then the next Quest comes out, which is going to be lighter, going to be more comfortable, and it's going to be out of the gate. Like, someone said to me, there's no way they could have not known they wanted to do this from the beginning. And it's true, isn't it, really? I mean, because when they done that OC6, there was a whole, like, shebang about the way it's done. It's months of testing gone into this. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think, I've used it personally, but I know people that have. I've heard a mixture of different things, but on the whole, I think, considering it's going to be in a beta, it's going to be a good experience. They're not going to put out something that's bad, because they know it's going to bring people into where they want them.
It'll be better than what is available currently over network connections, certainly. But at the same time, it's not going to be the same as an actual proper dedicated video channel, because there's a load of other technical stuff happening in the background there. So you're not going to get as good a performance on the Quest as you would with a Rift S when it comes to presenting that out. It's going to depend on the video game. So a game that actually has fast-moving graphics is probably going to suffer more than a game that doesn't have that. So if you're doing a racing game, for example, which is one of my things, you have video compression issues with racing games. So although I'd be able to play a racing game, I may not have the same detail available in a Quest hooked up to a PC that I would have in a Rift S hooked up to a PC. That's the other side of the story.
Yeah, I think one of the things I think about this Oculus Quest Link, I think this is a sign that they're going to continue to deliver high quality exclusives, because a game like Dead and Buried 2 is a really fun game, but you really can't tell the difference between the Quest version and the Rift S version. So that led me to believe that maybe these were the kind of games that we were going to get moving forward, that we're going to get games that were built for the Quest and just, poured it over to the Rift, and you're not going to see any improvements in the resolution or the quality, that kind of stuff like that. But I think with this Oculus Link, I think that is proof that they're going to continue to deliver high quality games down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Something did just happen. I've had nothing on my side of the stream here, but people are saying we sort of disappeared and come back or something. Yeah, because on my thing it went down to like 20 views and now it's rocketing back up again. I'm not sure what the hell happened there. But yeah, so let's move on. Hopefully it's been fine for everyone else. I haven't seen any glitches my side, luckily. Touch some bloody wood. Let's talk about an unfortunate game really that happened. Is called Warzone. And that is on PC VR and PSVR. I'm going to let Nat lead this one quickly. There is a video I want to show you. Do you want me to show the video first?
Show the video first.
All right, so what I'm going to show you now is the trailer, and then and this is thank you to Preacher Places puts this together. There is basically, you're going to see the graphical trailer, what they put out, what they're trying to sell you, and then you're going to see a little bit of gameplay from that. So yeah, we'll be right back.
Two hours later.
Oh great, I'm dead.
Oh, guys, how bad is that? Like, that was done by the Preacher Plays with the assistance of Nat, and I just had to play it because it was brilliant. Like, that's by the Preacher Plays. He's a good friend of ours, and it was just I'm gonna we don't have like no swearing in the chat, man, but I'm gonna allow that. Yeah, someone else did already. Yeah, so. Right, so quickly, I played this about 2 weeks ago on PC. I thought it was really bad, and that was it. I gave it 5-10 minutes. I thought this is never going to go anywhere. And then lo and behold, I start seeing Warzone on PlayStation VR come up in my feed, and that's when Nat comes in.
Well, let's put it this way. I only played it for 30 minutes, but that's 30 minutes of my life I'm never getting back again. There's nothing I can say that's good, that's redeeming about this game. It's a disgrace for both Sin Studio and for Sony, and I am trying to temper my words here because I do want to swear an awful lot, but this is a family show for GT, so
Thank you.
I am trying to keep my words in. Now, I discussed before the show started, I was discussing this with Lincoln and Salsa. Just because a game's bad doesn't mean you can't actually have fun with it. So the example I gave them was City Avenger, which is a Hong Kong PlayStation VR game, which is awful. It's a bad game. Like, you shoot the enemies, they shoot 50 foot up in the air. It's like, bang, shoot you, and it's like, wee, I can fly. I can see my house from up here. But it's so bad, it's actually amusing. Like, if you go and watch my Let's Play of City Avenger, I'm laughing all the way through. So there's actually a benefit to it. I wasn't laughing in this game. There's nothing redeeming about it. Now, I will hold my hands up because when I saw it pop up on the PlayStation Store, $12.99, I was like, okay, well, it's a multiplayer game. I'll give it a try. I thought it was a typo because it does actually say in the thing, one player. And I'm just like, well, I know it's a multiplayer game, so this has got to be a typo. So, yeah, I'll buy it anyway, £12.99. It's not a multiplayer game. So it's a game that has been designed for multiplayer, whether it's deathmatch or team deathmatch, whichever way you want to put it. It's been designed as a multiplayer game, and the PlayStation VR version has no multiplayer. That pretty much means it should have never come to PlayStation VR. Sony, and I put a lot of blame on Sony for this. Sony should have just turned around and said, yeah, we're not going to allow this to come onto the PlayStation Store, especially in the state it's in.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's horrible. You saw that with the gameplay from Picture Play's video. The sound design is the worst. The way I described it is when you're walking around, it sounds like you've got hobnail boots and you're walking on glass.
And it sounds like there's always someone behind you or something. There's someone else.
That's me. No, that's me.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because your teammates or your AI bot teammates or your opponents are walking around with fluffy bunny slippers because you can't hear them.
Right.
There is no sound whatsoever. So something like Firewall 0 Hour, and I didn't expect it to get to that levels, but if somebody walks across like the floor above you, you can hear them. You can quite clearly make it out. It's what makes Firewall 0 Hour so much fun, is that cat and mouse gameplay that you have with it. So you get that. You can't tell where the shots are coming from. You can hear a shot come off, but you're just like, well, is it coming from there? It's coming from there. And the AI opponents, even though they're brain-dead morons, they can shoot from 2 miles away with pinpoint accuracy. So it takes 3 shots to put you down and you're dead. So most of my Let's Play was, where the hell did I get shot from? The spawn locations are atrocious. There was a point where I got shot. I literally spawned 3 times in the next 15 seconds. Every time I spawned, I got shot again. Straight away. So I died 4 times in 15 seconds. So it was like, well, this is fun, isn't it? No. I didn't even get into like vehicles and stuff like that. Honestly, I had enough. But there's nothing redeeming about this game. It's disgusting that's in studio. It's nothing more than a cash grab. It really is. It can't be seen any other way. That let's get it on the PlayStation Store. Let's try and get 1,000 people to try and buy our game at £12.99 or whatever the American dollar price is. Because guess what? Sony's refund policy means unless we say it's a broken game, they can't get a refund.
So just to chuck in here, Carl PSVR said he also wants to point out to all of you that the PC version costs $10 and you get bots, cross-platform multiplayer on PC. On the PlayStation, it costs $15 and you just get bots. That's it. There's no cross-platform. There's no multiplayer. I think that's the ultimate thing for me as a piss take. How did you do that? How did they... As I said, I can't believe it come out on PlayStation.
Yeah, there hasn't been a piss take like that since VR carts. Because VR carts on PC
was like $40.
Oh, yeah. It was $30. It was $30 on PSVR. So that was like 3 times the price.
Yeah.
But that at least had the same equatable content.
Yeah.
They're both crap, but
Yeah. Well, due to a conversation I had recently with someone, but basically they told me, I was like, how did this game get on the store? And they went, what PlayStation do is they prioritise genres and what's selling. A war shooter that uses the aim controller and virtuality on paper will sell. And that's what they did. And that's how it got through. And I don't know who done the quality control on it. I mean, I'm not sure. But basically, that's how I know that certain games get to the top of the pile and they don't. It's pretty much just genre filling. And this is with Firewall and Call of Duty and things like that. People want a military shooter and they want to use the aim controller and it's on VR. So this is what you get if
The funny thing is, if there'd have been multiplayer in it, there's a slight, and I do mean a very slight possibility that there might have been a modicum of fun in it. So the example I'll give there is Bravo Team, which as a single player game is atrocious. It's one of the worst games. But when you're playing in co-op, because you kind of have this this level of stupidity in the game, you're having fun with a friend. So as bad as Bravo Team is, if you're playing that game in single player, there's no fun to be had, or hardly any fun.
Bravo Team is 10 times better than this, honestly.
But but in co-op, it gets improved. There's a level of fun to be had that wasn't there in the single player. There's nothing in this. Like somebody turned around to me and said, "Oh, well, this can be patched," and it's like, no, this can't be patched because at its core, it's rotten. It's rotten for the PlayStation VR version. The only way it could be patched is literally the game would have to be withdrawn and it would have to be put back out again. Sin Studio, and I said this in my video, deserve all the hatred and flack that they get because their response about why they haven't included multiplayer was, yeah, we couldn't code multiplayer for a console. And my response to that was, that is shortchanging everybody. If you're having a problem, there's one person we know. Contact Reggie Strange.
He's here now.
Game Studios.
He's here now.
Contact Reggie Strange from Reggie Strange Game Studios. Hire the guy on pay him money as an outside consultant to get your multiplayer working. Because if there's somebody that knows how to get multiplayer working brilliantly on PlayStation VR, it's that guy. That guy has done things that.
Well, no one else has done that. No one.
Yeah. What AAA studios have.
No one else has done a 32 player in virtuality, I don't think.
And I'm sure that he could do it because you're not asking him to take a ton of the time away from stuff that he's doing. You're asking him to act as an outside consultant where somebody contacts him and says, this is the problem that we're having. And he turns around and says, have you tried this solution?
Yeah.
Have you tried this solution? And you pay the guy. But obviously, Sin Studio, they've got no intention to say this is a cash grab. This is one of the most disgusting games that I've ever seen, and it again highlights how important it is, and I know we're going to discuss it a little while later, that Sony's refund policy is so inadequate that literally the only people that have a refund policy like Sony is Nintendo. Everyone else, Microsoft, Epic Game Store, Steam, Oculus, all have actually followed European law and offer a refund policy, and you can get a refund policy for whatever reason. They're the only two companies that do not offer a refund policy like that. And the Sony's refund policy is insane because you can't even download the game. You can get a refund within 14 days if you haven't even downloaded the game. Who buys a game and then doesn't download it?
Yeah,
and you've got automatic downloads as well. It's absolutely insanity. Like I say, I think they're most probably breaking European law, and somebody needs to take Sony to task. As much as I like Sony consoles and Sony games and stuff like that, that is not consumer friendly. And even Microsoft, who had a similar refund policy as Sony and Nintendo, even they've decided they needed to change, and they've changed it. So like I say, this is just one of the games. The only thing I could say about it, it's a game to hold up of. This is how you do not make a game or market a game to PlayStation VR, because this is just going to hurt. If you're a PlayStation VR user and you waited for a military shooter and you get this, you might not pick up your PlayStation VR headset ever again.
Yeah, Papa Chicken just said he got a refund for a PlayStation VR game. I have as well, and while we're just here, I might as well just read what it says. So regarding PlayStation VR, Sony refunds policy is after purchasing a digital game or this type of content through the PlayStation Store, you have 14 days from purchase to request a refund. If you have started to download or stream the purchase content, you will not be eligible for a refund unless the content is faulty. That's crazy. That's like, what? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like, downloading it means you can't get a refund.
Yeah, but the thing is that bit where you said that unless the content is faulty, so you can turn around and say my content's faulty. If the developer disagrees with you, so Sony have to go to the developer and say, yeah, we've got an issue. Somebody's saying that the content's faulty. If the developer turns around and goes, nope, they're lying, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
So it isn't even based on your perception. Now there will be some people that do get refunds and stuff like that. But as I say, they're kind of once in, I think that most probably somebody new's just started at Sony and didn't realise that this is the policy that Sony have. But Sony needs to update the policy. They need to make it much clearer. They need to make it much easier that if you've purchased a game, and I agree with the Oculus policy and the Steam policy, if you've purchased a game within 14 days and you've played less than 2 hours, you can usually make your mind up within 2 hours of a game, and we'll allow you to refund it for any reason. Don't get me wrong, Oculus have a thing in there as well that if you continuously are refunding games over and over again, well, I think you're allowed so many refunds before they'll even cut you off and say, no, we're not going to refund your games anymore.
There's so many great comments in the chat, honestly. They're absolutely...
Yeah. I think to make the viewers understand the magnitude of this bait and switch is to go back to how this game was advertised. It was supposed to be a 50-player cross-play between PlayStation VR, Steam, and HTC. It was supposed to have, vehicles. You saw the Hummer. I'm not sure, but I think there might have supposed to have been a helicopter that you could fly in this game as well. And this has to be, if you want to call it that, the biggest bait and switch that I've ever seen. Just absolutely horrible. And when the game was in early access on Steam, I was seeing mixed reviews about the game, but I was still waiting because if the game was supposed to work like it was supposed to, I was going to get it on the PlayStation, so I could use the aim controller.
Yeah.
Because that would have gave it the best experience. But I don't know. Like it's starting to raise a question. I hate to throw this out there, but I've noticed that Honor and Duty is the only other first-person shooter game that has multiplayer besides Firewall and Farpoint, if you want to consider the 1v1 as multiplayer. So
okay.
I'm wondering why, he was able to do it, but the other ones can't. I can't help but to wonder that.
So strange games. So going back to the comment of what I said about Sony bringing Warzone, how did it get to like top of the pile or in there so quick? He's put, in regards to Sony allowing this, Sony takes a hands-off approach to the games and doesn't want to censor what players can play. When companies do this, you have games like To the Top not being allowed. He's absolutely right, and I agree with that. Like, I don't like the curation process on the Quest. Let us do our jobs. Let other people give out their opinions. Follow people that you enjoy and trust, and you get on with. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a similar mindset to someone or similar tastes, then they're the people you follow, you enjoy, and you go, "What's that game like?" That's the idea. I think that's what you're supposed to do. That's what I would do. But to not let people have a game, to just go, no, To the Top isn't coming. And other titles that are good. And then not understand that benchmark of like, hold on, VR carts is there, but hold on, we're not allowing touring carts on the system. I'm baffled by what they're doing over there. I don't really understand what's going on, and I've sort of given up trying to understand it, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd never want that taken away. It's all about the freedom. If you want to develop a game, as long as it doesn't make people ill, and it performs at a decent frame rate. And another thing was, it wasn't just, it was Brian Paul as well mentioned the sound design thing. When that come out, yeah, he mentioned the thing about the footsteps and the fact that it doesn't sound like you're you when you walk. You always sound like you're behind yourself. But there was a game on the Quest. What was the cowboy shooter game that came out on the Quest? It's also on PC now, Dead and Buried 2. That didn't have spatial audio on the Quest. So when I only noticed it straight away, really, because I was with a group and they went, come over here. But it didn't make any sense because the sound was just there in the center. And I was like, that doesn't mean anything to me in virtual reality. As normally, if someone says, over here, GT, I'm going to know exactly which way to look because we've got that 360 spatial audio. When a game doesn't have it in virtual reality, it stands out massively. More than any other, like, you wouldn't notice it in a flat game, I don't think, as much. Like, in virtual reality, it just like, your senses go, what the hell? Like, it can break the immersion. So, yeah, that's it's not cool at all. So, where was we next? That's what I wanted to bring up. Did you guys get to check out Spectro? Talking about, like, because we're on, it's Halloween now, and we're going to obviously be doing some sort. I'm personally going to be doing scary games anyway because I love scary games. So, yeah, who's played this?
Not had it.
No.
Not had anything about it.
No.
No.
Lincoln?
Sorry.
No, I haven't played it, but I did watch parts of your video, and I showed it to my son because my son is a big Mario, Luigi fan.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that it would be something that he would like. So he took a look at it, and he felt like it was pretty close to Luigi's Mansion. So if he wants it, I'll get it for him. But for me, I'm more into, I like photorealism and that kind of stuff when it comes to games.
This has got that job simulator look going on. This is an unrealistic looking game, very cartoony. I just think this is fantastic, but what I wanted to update people was if they got a PlayStation VR is, the developer has said he's bringing it to PlayStation VR. That's what he wants to do. In the chat, people are asking, they were going, oh, why haven't we got this on PSVR? And, and I was thinking, yeah, I don't know why I haven't got it on PSVR, to be honest. But yeah, I tweeted him and he responded to me in a DM. He hasn't said it openly, but he has said they want to bring it to PSVR. And he also mentioned the Quest. He said, and hopefully the Quest, although it will have, they do need to take their time and get some testing right to get it to run properly on the Quest. So yeah, that's just a bit of good news. And since it's Halloween, I wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a really good game. I had a great time with it playing this game. I thought it was really good. Yeah, cross between Luigi Mansion and Ghostbusters. It was a bit like that. I had a really good time streaming that game, which is nice. But I definitely,
it looks fun.
Yeah, I definitely recommend you guys check this out if possible. And while we're on scary games, like, just give me one example of a scary game, guys. What's your VR scare game? We'll start with Lincoln because I think he's a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to VR horror.
The scariest one that I tried was probably Resident Evil 7. I think there might be games that it might be scarier because I have the Impatient, but I have not played that. I have the Weeping Doll. I played that for about 5 minutes. I actually have a few scary games. I even took my headset off on Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, but that is a scary game, dude. Like you're mentioning, Resident Evil 7 is up there without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's a scary game.
But the Impatient's only scary if you actually play it because it's a horrible game.
I liked the Impatient because you had really big hands, and as you walked around, it sort of bashed things as you walked around. I thought that was amazingly funny. But yeah, so Lincoln, yours is like Resident Evil is like I think that's your pinnacle of horror, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, I think so. But
what's up, man?
I still think it's an amazing game, and I think we were lucky to get that kind of game, at the PlayStation VR's launch, to have a full-length AAA game where you had the option to play it flat screen or VR. Because the game wouldn't have scared me flat screen. No horror game scares me flat screen, but in VR, oh my goodness, this is too real.
So that's quite unusual because I get scared of games flat screen. Like PT scared the crap out of me. Like proper trashed me when I played that. I was really, really scared. And I know I can experience that in VR, and I will do one day. So what about you, Nat? What's your horror game of choice?
Yeah, it'd be the same as Lincoln's. It'd be Resident Evil 7. As I said to you again at EGX, because obviously I wasn't here for last week's top 20. Resident Evil 7 was both a blessing and a curse for PlayStation VR. It was a blessing because it was a triple A, unbelievable quality game that we got 4 months after PlayStation VR launched. The only problem with it, and the reason why I say it was a curse, everybody then was like, well, when's the next one? And it was never going to come. Literally, Resident Evil 7 was a perfect set of circumstances. It was the first ever Resident Evil game that was in first person. That's very conducive to virtual reality. They took Resident Evil back to its pure horror roots. Again, perfect for virtual reality. As I say, it was just a perfect storm of what Capcom wanted to do with Resident Evil. It fit perfectly with what Sony wanted to do. It was a AAA game, and it was. I think all of us tried the kitchen demo because that was Capcom seeing if could they get the Resident Evil engine to work in virtual reality. So that was actually the test trial, and it worked. And literally Capcom then went to Sony and said, yeah, we can get it to work. And Sony said, okay, how much do we have to pay you to do it? Because Sony did finance that, but it was meant to be a timed exclusive. The thing with Resident Evil 7, I would love to see that come to PC VR. I have no things about, it should be exclusive to PlayStation VR. I don't agree with that. VR is at such a level that you need as many people as you can possibly playing it, which is one of the reasons why I said, I think about a year ago, I'd like to see Sony actually bring some VR games to PC VR. I don't think it would take away or detract from PlayStation VR. It would only help, in my opinion. But yeah, so Resident Evil 7, I think, is my top tier. Yeah, the one game that I will say that still gives me jump scares when I play it, however, is actually Until Dawn: Rush of Blood.
Yeah.
The amount of jump, because I haven't played Dreadhalls. I know you guys have said about Dreadhalls,
Oh.
but Until Dawn: Rush of Blood has so many jump scare moments in it, and I think that's the only shocker about the top 20 last week wasn't that it made the top 20. I kind of expected that quite easily. The shock to me was it made number 5. That was like, wow. People really, really, really love that game.
Yeah, I streamed it a little while before, and it still looks and feels fresh. Like, you can't... That game is like House of the Dead on a roller coaster. It's awesome. It is like a really, really good game. So what about you then, South? What are you rocking at?
Well, everybody, of course, goes, I'm not a big horror fan. Full stop. I'm not a big horror film fan. Not a big horror game fan. I have played a couple, though. Of course, Resident Evil 7. The kitchen demo, I couldn't make it through the kitchen demo. Basically speaking, there is, of course, Until Dawn. I don't know if you've seen it. Do you mind me putting a quick link in the chat there so people can see my worst nightmare made real in VR is from Until Dawn: Rush of Blood, because I've got a big thing with spiders. I don't like them. And Until Dawn has a big thing with some little spiders that completely cover you up. So I was filming when a load of little spiders came out of the back of a really giant-sized spider and basically crawled all over me. And I screamed my head off like a little girl. So it's you know, I don't know with the horrors. It's very hard to take, some of them. I think they're very hard to take in VR. I have played Dreadhalls as well back on the Gear VR, and Resident Evil 7 and Dreadhalls both do the same thing. they both build tension. And I think that's actually scarier than just the jump scare moments.
Right.
That build of tension, that's what VR, I think, does for horror really, really well. But there's another game that's coming out, actually, which I think is going to be just in time for Halloween.
Oh, someone was
Remember
mentioning.
the name of it?
Is it PC?
It's PC.
Someone else mentioned this.
It's got a very, very good hook to it that you can actually get a mobile app or in a browser, and you can have, I think it's up to about
Nice.
8 people contribute to what's happening in the game. So you can have other people contribute to all of the jump scares and bad things that will happen to someone else in the game. And I think that would be amazing. If I can remember what it is that Monstrum VR? Okay,
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's one where I might be interested in if I was doing one for the whole type of thing, where I'd feel like doing that, because it's sort of like that's good for audience and participation, and who doesn't actually like seeing somebody in VR get the life scared out of them?
Yeah, man.
Well, there's one game that should have come out for VR, whether it's PC VR, PlayStation VR, that I think most people are just open-mouthed of why has this not happened yet, and that's Alien Isolation. That is most probably the one game that would actually challenge Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
There was a demo that was done before Oculus Rift came out. I know it's got a mods to add VR into the PC version, but a mod never really compares to a developer actually putting the time in. And I think the thing that's upset so many people about Alien Isolation is, and I know it's a completely different game, is Wipeout Omega Collection. We saw what a 4-man team did in converting a flat screen game over to VR, and you're just like, Sega, get a 10-man team to put Alien Isolation, because you've got the name recognition of Alien. Alien Isolation is regarded as one of the best Alien games ever released, and it is pure terror.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
It's pure terror.
I've been told Alien Isolation in VR is pretty good, because when I played Doom 3 in VR, that was done amazingly well. Like, I was overly impressed how that works. So yeah, Alien Isolation is one of the ones on the list. Someone's sort of helped me find out how to do it, and hopefully I will be doing that at some point.
It's come up in chat as well. There we go. Rico's Fragment. Thank you, Paradise Decay. Another thing that came up in chat is someone was saying about PT in VR, and they are quite right. There is a version of PT in VR. The only problem was it got withdrawn. Completely withdrawn. You can't get it now.
Yeah, on PlayStation you can. Yeah.
No, on PC.
Yeah, but on PlayStation as well, you can't download PT.
Yeah. But you used to be able to do that, but now you unfortunately can't. It got taken away. So, yeah, that's why you can't find it, JD. Sorry. It was on itch for a while.
As far as I know, yeah, so Byte said you can still find it. Yeah, someone sent it to me as well and said you can still find it. I'm assuming once it's out on the internet, someone's still got it.
So I have to take a quick look at what Paradise Decay.
Yeah, have a look at that game. In the meantime, we was going to literally quickly talk about Lo-Fi, which Salsa will now have to turn his point back to the stream before he does that. Because they achieved, they done amazingly well, didn't they, on their Kickstarter?
They did. They went through a few of their stretch goals. So we've got extra soundtrack coming from Gunship, which, if you haven't heard any Gunship tracks, they're available obviously on some of the bigger some of your different music stuff. They are an electro type of band that fit in perfectly with the look of this game. The game graphically, because you got to try a build which is slightly different to what I tried. So the version of the game that I've tried is a little bit more advanced than what you tried. And it's drop dead gorgeous.
It is a gorgeous game, yeah.
It really does look good. I've had a few more. There's some bots and stuff on the ground.
Yeah.
We also now have a companion dog in the game as well. And
Cyber dog, isn't it? It's like a cyber dog, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got some very strange glowy eyes at the moment. That's a little bit creeps me out.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to perhaps maybe end up jumping in the back of the car with you as well or whatever, which is kind of cool. Of course, flying through that cityscape as well is just perfect. It really, really does the type of things that I want from my cyberpunk game. I want a cyberpunk game to have that post-utopian, dark, drizzly, virtual neon, holographic neon thing going on. And it's got all that going on. It's got some of the comic book references of cyberpunk going on. It's got a little bit of like the whole Masamune Shirow stuff going on. There's a load and load of different stuff there that's all happening up there. And what did you were suddenly surprised by something?
I was saying about PT, that's all. He basically told me that my PlayStation's worth a lot of money because I've got PT, and he told me I can't re-download it, even though I have deleted it and re-downloaded it. Not recently, but it was well after the time it was taken away. And I knew they were selling on eBay for a little bit more money, but not quite a lot. Back to Lo-Fi. Yeah, I've done a video on this on the earlier build, which is pretty much the same build you're looking at on the screen now, this trailer. It is fantastic. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah,
I loved it. Like, just walking around exploring, it was superb. And I know you can see why the Kickstarter done well, because you saw even the intro. Like, I remember like the intro, like that music, that thumping music. I was like, dude, this guy's like hitting me in the feels, man.
Oh, like, the music is superb, and like I say, they've already got some extra soundtrack lined up. The dancing girl at the beginning, there's one of the clubs as well, actually, where the dancer is actually a giant-sized holograph.
Yeah.
Where you can stand through, and you're like, what the actual hell is this? This is like unbelievable, blow your mind stuff. And the lighting looks really good, and you get like a torch, and you know, like the look of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Where thank you. You got cold yogurt for the super chats there. That's most kind of you.
It's very nice, thank you. Oh look, he wants. You've been called out, fella. You've been called out, Link.
I'll offer the viewers a challenge. Oh. Right now, it sounds like it may sound like a little bit of self-promoting, but I think this will put me in a position where I can't back out. So I'll make everybody a deal. Right now, I think I'm sitting on 555 subs. When I hit 600 subs, I'll play whatever they want me to play that I have in my library as far as horror games. Nice. And if it's something that's on PC, I'll hook the camera up so you guys can see me crap my underwear. So
there you go, man. There you go. So yeah, if you want to give them a bit of a help there, subscribe to all these guys. I've said it before. We always say it at the end, but they're here giving their time up to talk about their opinions of VR and stuff. So that's great. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And yeah, Fez, I agree. So when you said that, I thought about upskirting. I thought, what's he on about, mate? He's telling everyone that he's looking up giant women's skirts.
She wasn't. She's a giant hologram, and she's not wearing a skirt. She's wearing shorts.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
I did want to ask you guys if the game
shorts because they're see-through. There's no shorts, there's no part there because it's like parts of it are missing because it's like banded things, so it looks like a laser scan in the air. Which is really cool.
I understand, mate. I understand.
It looks really, really great. And obviously somebody mentions Blade Runner. Yeah, if you ever liked Blade Runner, which of course is one of my favourite films of all time, this is the live version of it. This is the VR version of Blade Runner. I know there are Blade Runner games out there and VR Blade Runner experiences, but they don't cut the mustard like Lo-Fi does.
Yeah, okay, something very special about this.
So I wanted to ask you, Salsa and Gamertag, does this game look as good as what we just saw right there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'd actually say it looks better because it's in virtual reality. Like, it looks like that plus VR. That you'd see, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Better.
Mm-hmm. I got to respond to Ham right there in the chats. He says, yeah, Resident Evil with the lights off and send everybody out of the house. With the headset off, with the headset on, it won't matter whether the light's on or not. You're going to get the crap scared out of you regardless.
No, you want the lights on. You want to see him scared. That's what you want to do. You want to see him.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so Victim said it and it looks better. Yeah, it does. I think it does. Like when I went in that game, when I done that live stream, I think I literally jumped into the game, made sure I understood what was going on for about 2 minutes, come out, done my live stream, time is short. And I was like just blown away, walking around them streets, like getting in that car, flying around. It's like, dude, this is something else. Like it really is.
I mean, Aircar got a lot of it right as well. Aircar has really, really good feeling. As city overall looks really great. The update was really good. This has got that, and then a little bit extra in the lighting that I think really sends it over, and then the music as well comes thumping in.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a game behind there. There's going to be story. There's going to be characters. There's going to be all sorts of different things going on. And that's just going to send it to that next level of beyond.
Yeah, in the limited things, there's hardly really anything going on in the demo I played.
No.
You know, there's a little bit of interaction there, nothing much. But to see, it's definitely, it was already beyond a base level project. You could tell things are in the works. That's what it felt like. You walked onto a construction site. That's what it was like. And it was visually there. It was just stuff to be added, you know, and people and places, and, you know, and stuff. And it was just amazing. Like, there was no doubt. I thought, like, Paradise has mentioned to me there's a pirate game that's currently in a Kickstarter. I have got a key for it. I haven't got around to playing it. I was in talks with them. I don't want to promote a game, regardless if it's a Kickstarter or not, until I've played it. I need to, you know, it might not be something I enjoy, and then I would find it very hard to tell to people. Yeah, you know, that's just not what I do. I can't just promote everything because it's a Kickstarter. I want to make sure that it's something I personally enjoy for it to be on my channel and saying I would feature and it's a really good game. So I will check it out for sure. I haven't got around to it, but I will do it, dude. And hopefully there will be time for me to give it a shout out on the next VR link or in the live stream at the time. Because obviously most games on this channel are live streamed. Like, you go through the motions with me of what I'm experiencing. So that's just what my personal channel's about. So yeah, man, I will do it. And I know you mentioned it a couple of times in the chat. I'm not ignoring you, obviously, and I will get it done at some point. It's one of those things, man. Like, Halloween's coming in now as well. And I love horror games. Do you know what I mean? I think virtual reality brought it back for me, because Silent Hill 2 at the time was like the ultimate game for me to be scared. Like that, with no other game had ever brought that level of emotion and immersion to me. And the sound quality of it was amazing, and the tricks and stuff they'd done with headphones, it was absolutely brilliant. So it's only when virtual reality come along I was like, next level. Do you know what I mean? We've just evolved. Horror's evolved. And even films don't really do that for me much anymore in comparison to virtual reality. I can watch a film now. And don't get me wrong. Like, I was watching something the other day on Netflix. What was it? It was like a French horror thing put into English. Anne-Marie, something like that. And there was a bit in it. My mate said to me, "It's really scary, really scary." I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." Didn't really get enough, and there was a point there where I actually felt and saw the hairs on my arm stand up. Like, it was like, and I felt, you know what I mean? When you feel your skin crawl through something, you're like, dude, that is like mental.
I would be really scared for some of like the Japanese films, the Japanese horror films.
What about Itchy Killer? That isn't a horror film. That's just mental. Do you remember that, Itchy the Killer?
Itchy the Killer. I've seen the uncut version of that. That is insane.
That is absolutely
The
insane.
British version is cut to hell.
I can't remember.
The actual Japanese version is, and you can get it unrated American, which is what I've got. If you thought the British version was nuts, you ain't seen nothing. But yeah, where Salsa was saying, if they did a Ring style game, Ring was the last film. I would say it was the last horror film that I can think of off the top of my head that honestly kept me awake. Wouldn't let me. I couldn't sleep after watching that.
No way. That's
cool. Horrors, I think they don't always come to here, but a lot of Japanese horrors, which are ghost story based, Japanese ghosts are freaking vengeful, scary animals. They just are horrid. They're horrid things.
Yeah, but Japanese horror films are so good because for a lot of it, it's the build-up. It's because like with Ringu, and spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen the original Japanese Ring, there's not a lot in it until that very last 10-minute sequence. It's like another film, a Japanese film that came out called Audition, which is for like an hour and a half is tedious and boring. It's just a bit weird, and then there is this explosion in the last 15 minutes, and you're just like, what the hell have I just? What was I watching? And a bit like what GT was sort of saying, it makes his skin crawl. There was bits where, like with Audition and Ringu, I was just like, no. It literally just it got its hooks in me and freaked me out.
Yeah, the thoughts of what they could do with that style of writing and suspense building in those things just would truly, truly terrify the wits out of people in unimaginable ways. Because, I mean, Resident Evil 7 is a Japanese thing, and like I say, it's not the full-on what Japanese typically do with their horror stories. It's more of the internationalized, commercialized side that you will find there. Whereas their more independent side of things is a little bit nastier and creepy.
Yeah, and man.
That would just... I can't think of it too much. A lot of my I'm going to rewind my speech pattern there. It would upset my sleep pattern badly if I think about it too much, the Japanese horrors.
Well, I'm going to be buying Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted VR soon. Most probably the next day or so. Because I haven't got it, but that's actually on sale on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that because I've heard nothing but good things about that. So.
And Resident Evil's on sale as well.
So that might be my Halloween film or Halloween game.
Yeah,
nice. Because I'm a bit like you guys. I most probably play a horror game on Halloween just because it's Halloween and
yeah, man.
I'll play a horror game.
I honestly do think if you haven't played Dreadhalls as well, as much as it's a nice cutesy little game, really, but there's something awfully terrifying about that game. Honestly, like it's a bit ropey. The animations aren't great, and there's just something about it that they capture it so well that scares the crap out of me. And JD Max said, "Don't sleep on Paranormal Activity." Yeah, that's in the sale, and I agree. At some point in my life, doing VR, that was my go-to horror game. If I could explain how, like, there was moments in Paranormal Activity that terrified me, and I remember I hadn't been live streaming very often. Not many people popped in and said hello, and I'm walking around. And I was thinking, oh, please someone join the chat. Please someone just talk to me so I don't feel alone playing this game. So that was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. Sorry, Sal, I was going to say something.
Transpose, anybody played that? Transpose? that looks like it's kind of creepy too. That's the game where I think the guy was strapping his daughter down.
Oh no, you mean not transpose. You mean
What, transference?
transference.
Okay,
and I don't remember no daughter bit. Does that happen? He's a boy, wasn't it? Is his son? Was it a post
It's his
PST
son,
story, isn't it?
Okay.
I believe there is a game called
PTSD.
Transpose.
The impression that he's strapping a child down and telling him that he loves him while he's still strapping him down. I mean, he looked absolutely creepy.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure that is transference, and the guy's suffering from mental health issues. Transpose is a game where you basically use time, you manipulate time over and over again to solve puzzles. Game. Yeah, they're very different. But Transference is an amazing game as well, by the way. That's absolutely brilliant. Didn't that have something to do with Elijah Wood or something?
Yeah.
Transference,
yeah.
Yeah, he had something to do with that. So, guys, is that cool? Everyone, I think we covered quite a lot today, haven't we?
Good, yeah.
You all good? Lincoln, you all good?
I don't think there's anything else.
I'm good because I'm watching my son because I'm probably going to serve him with his eviction papers to get him off that PC so I can play some Asgard Wrath.
Nice, dude. Nice. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone in the chat today. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments across Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for anyone who subscribed while we was live. That was cool. And yeah, remember to check out these guys, Salsa Ketchup from Salsa Ketchup VR, Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming, Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670, and Salsa's got something to add.
I do. Don't forget about the audio-only podcast. If you want to listen to stuff back, here is a link to the Spotify channel.
Yeah, just follow it, dude. Like, if you ever miss a show live, personally, I was actually listening to our own show in the gym the other day, so that was pretty cool. You just click follow, and the episodes will come up each and every time. So, yeah, thank you. And this show is all about you, and it's for you. So, we really appreciate you spending your time with us. And yeah, see you next Sunday.
Deuces.
Take it easy, guys. Look after yourselves, yeah? Try and have a bloody good week.